We're taking a question from one of our virgin users who has been making out with guys, and now her question is, how do I let a guy know
I remember this.
that I want to have sex?
I remember this one. First, and we will agree,
Yes.
she has to know how to have an orgasm with herself before any of this partner sex takes place.
Because that way you can tell them what you want.
Well,
if
you get to that place, eventually, but right off the bat, you're not going to go into, heavy sex. So it's light sex is what I would call it. Petting.
Heavy petting.
How did you do it?
Well, it was kind of a little easier for me because I had an older brother and his friends were always around. So you were always kind of interacting with them. And then what I always did is you have to do some kind of touching. So you'd be like, oh, you're so funny. And you do the squeeze. And what it is, you're letting them know, I'm not going to shoot you down if you make a move.
See, and as I recall back in high school, necking, smooching, making out, whatever they call it now, I loved it. We'd sit in the car. Of course, I guess kids here in the East Coast don't have cars.
Well, they're probably in the den.
They have to wait till the parents are out of town. I don't know how they get any privacy, but out in the Midwest, everything took place in a parked car, and it was fabulous. And we would park, and we would kiss.
Yes.
And I mean kiss and kiss and kiss, and then fondling would just kind of naturally happen.
But you made a good point when we were talking about answering this question. You said, you know what? If you want someone to touch your breasts, take your hand and put it on your boob. Because I think anyone, if you have to be the aggressor in the sex act all the time, you don't want to do something that someone doesn't like and get slapped or something stupid.
We know from stats and different processes that girls develop more quickly than boys, and that we are more verbal than boys, and that we will probably know more about ourselves sexually than boys know about themselves because they're whacking off real fast looking at Playboy.
Yeah.
Now it's, I got to update.
Now it's the Hun.
It's online porn.
Yeah.
And so they're getting the whole menu of every kind of possible sex act. And I can't imagine what that's like for an uninitiated young man.
And then, the whole getting an erection, being in a moment, putting a condom on. That's why I loved what you said. You know what? Slow walk it.
I had 2 years, in the last 2 years in high school, of manual sex that was heavenly. And I remember in my second year of marriage, I was masturbating, fantasizing, necking with Bob in the front seat of his car because the sex was so much better. I was having orgasms. It was just so manual sex to me is
hands.
And natural.
And just play and relax and try things out and touch each other and develop it and kind of learn the groove and take your time.
I think it's going to have to be nonverbal for the most part.
I think it's really hard when you're a young woman. I remember I would have condoms in my bag and I'd want to have sex. And it was really hard for me to be like, let's have sex and here's a condom. I tried to work up to it and I remember I would have them in my bag and then I thought maybe I'll open up my bag and see them.
Well, that's see, we didn't have to worry about any of that.
Well, yeah, I was the AIDS generation, so we had to think about that. Oh. So if you remove kind of vaginal intercourse off the table,
get it off the table. Get
to know each other's bodies.
Talk, smooch, touch, hug, pet. Those are all the beginning
Dry
stages.
Humping. I can't say it. I love dry.
On the dance floor. Oh, you couldn't get close enough.
Yeah, and you're kind of always getting in and swishing.
And then you could feel if I could ever feel a guy getting an erection.
Oh, that was exciting.
Oh, any way that you can manage to express yourself sexually, and I say it just will progress naturally if you kiss and touch. That's all you need to know.